The question that I hear asked most often in landscape photography is, how do I get my landscape images sharp from front to back? Or how do I get my images pin sharp? Where do I focus? What settings do I use to ensure my images are completely sharp from front to back? And these are valid questions. They're very important questions. Many times you will want your landscape images to be completely sharp from front to back. And there's lots of information out there on YouTube, on the internet, and books and other materials regarding how you can do that. So I want to do something a little bit different in this video. I want to get you questioning, do you actually want your images sharp from front to back? And if not, which part of the image do you want sharp, and how do you achieve that? So there are lots of reasons for not wanting your entire image to be sharp. Perhaps there's a key subject such as a tree and you really want to draw the viewer's attention to that. So you may make that tree really sharp and the rest of the image slightly soft. Another reason is perhaps you're shooting a scene through some trees or through some long grass and you want that to be slightly soft just for creative effect. I'm going to use this scene behind me to illustrate how I approach taking my images and deciding whether or not I want the whole image to be sharp from front to back. So I was drawn to this group of trees. I really like the autumn colour on them. And I've been having a look around the scene and I've decided on my composition, and that's the first thing I always do. I move around, get the composition set, and I can do that in my mind, but if you struggle with that, a great tool is simply to take out your camera, wander around handheld, move around with your feet, zoom in, zoom out, get your composition set, and that gives you a fantastic idea of where you want to take the image from and the focal length that you will be using. So now that I've got my composition set, it's going to be slightly different from where I'm taking the video from, but I then look at the scene and say, do I want this entire image to be sharp from front to back? And in this case the answer is no. I think that would actually make the image worse. So now that I've decided I don't want it sharp, what do I want sharp and why? Well, the group of trees is the main part of this image, and to me the parts that I really must have sharp are these three trees right in front of me here. We've got the large silver birch, we've got this smaller one here, and this little clump to the left of me. That's what I must ensure is really sharp in this image. That's what drew me to this location. Then behind that, the rest of the trees, I would be happy if they were slightly soft, slightly out of focus. And then off in the distance, the hills and trees and so on, I do want them out of focus, and that will ensure these trees stand out and your attention is drawn to them. Then working nearer towards the camera, I want to include this heather here, and there's a nice little low down framing opportunity just to frame these key subjects in my image, and I want that sharp. But as we get nearer the camera, I'm happy for the focus to be soft there as well, because there's lots of long grass, so I think shooting through those from quite low down will be quite artistic and add a little bit of just creative touch to the image. So now that I've decided on that, I'm pretty much wanting some of this heather sharp, these three trees sharp, and then I'm happy for the focus to drift off after that. So how do I go about getting that section of my image sharp? Well, part of that comes down to knowledge and experience, and you can research this online. There's lots of information out there. There's apps, there's websites, there'll be YouTube videos showing you how to increase and decrease your depth of field and so on, where to focus. But you can just build up that knowledge from being out in the field. But for my particular camera, full frame, I'm going to be shooting it, I think 60 to 70 millimeters for this scene. So I strongly suspect that if I focus on this tree here using an aperture of somewhere in the region of f5.6 to f8, possibly f9 at most, I know I will get the heather here sharp, These trees sharp, the ones behind it sufficiently sharp but slightly soft, and then the background will be out of focus. And I also think the area immediately in front of the camera will be out of focus as well. Now that just comes from experience, but you can get apps, online resources and so on to help you with that. But another great way to build up knowledge is simply to go out with your own gear and test. So your depth of field can vary with a number of things such as your aperture, your point of focus and so on. But what you can do is have a guest take a test image and then review it at 100% magnification on your camera's rear screen. You can then really look around and see if the points you want are in focus or not. If they're not, consider shifting your point of focus either nearer to the camera or further away depending on the problem that you're trying to solve. Consider increasing or decreasing your aperture and then review your image, and you'll eventually get the section that you want sharp to be sharp, and hopefully you'll be pleased with the final result. But that's generally how I go about approaching taking my images, deciding if I want the whole image sharp, and if I don't, what do I want sharp, and how I go about achieving that. But I'll show you the image that I'm going to be capturing here. I don't quite know how the final image will look yet. The weather conditions are very changeable today. I've had snow, I've had bright sunshine, rain, hail, various conditions, so who knows how the final image will look at this point in time. But I hope you found this video useful and hopefully it encourages you to be a bit more creative with your photography and not always try and get every image sharp from front to back. That is of course important, but I think you can have a lot of fun and get better images at times by being quite selective with what you want in focus in your images. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.